Great seeing you here again. My name is Luc de Koster, founder of the Koster Academy, and in this new video I will talk about the PMBOK, Introduction and Performance Domains. In this part we will talk about the Stakeholder Performance Domain and specifically related to communications. But before we continue, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, click on the bell button, and every time we have a new video, YouTube will inform you about it. Great to see you again in another lesson. We're talking about the Stakeholder Performance Domain, and here we're looking at stakeholder engagement and more specifically the part related to communication. Let's have a look at stakeholders and communication. The project manager and the team will communicate with the stakeholders on a regular basis. They will define the ways to communicate in a communications plan. The plan will describe what will be sent, how it will be sent, what frequency, the content, and other specific needs by the different stakeholders. It's very important to keep the stakeholders informed about the project progress. They want to know about issues and all other events that they may be interested in. It is estimated that the project managers spend about 95% of their time communicating. Now, what type of communication that can we identify? We can look at verbal, written, formal, and informal communications. When we look at verbal communications, we look at presentations, project reviews, briefings, product demos, brainstorming, which are part of the formal verbal communications. Informal verbal communications are conversations and ad hoc discussions. When we look at written communications, the formal written communications are progress reports, project documents, the business case itself, and informal written communications are brief notes, email, instant messages and texting, and social media. We can also make a difference between push and pull communications. Now, when we look at push communications, here we look at people sending communication to the people, and this is typically related to memos, emails, status reports, voicemail, and other types of communication, but these are typically push communications. They are one-way communications sent from one person to another, and these type of push communications do not enable immediate reactions and assess understanding. So basically, we send it to the people. When you get the status report or your meeting report, for example, you can have a reaction to it. You can obtain the report, then look at it and send your comments back to the sender of the original message. But there is no immediate reaction possible. When we look at pull communication, it's typically when people access information on their own as initiative. We look at internet searches, when we look at internal and external databases, there may be online repositories, project historical informations, libraries, and other sources. Basically, that's where you're going to search for the information. You're going somewhere and you take out the information. Nobody is sending it to you. So push communication is when somebody sends information to you that you receive. Pull communication is where you retrieve information from a source, internal or external source. When we talk about communication, we also have to consider effective listening. We have the sender-receiver model. We've been speaking about that in different other topics, and communication is in fact more complex than what we will explain here. But when we have a sender and a receiver, there may be noise, and we have to see that the sender is sending the message to the receiver, and we have to verify that the receiver correctly receives the message. There has to be an acknowledgement, I received the message, but the receiver should also ensure or contact the sender or let know to the sender that they understand the message properly. So the sender can then, when there would be some discussion or some misunderstanding, the sender can then correct the message, give more information to the receiver, so that, in fact, the receiver has a proper understanding of the message. We also look at the feedback loop that we have here. Now, we have to confirm the degree to which the stakeholders heard the message. It's very important to have that feedback. We have to determine if the stakeholder or stakeholders agree with the message. And finally, we have to identify other or unintended messages the recipient detected. So we have to find out how is that communication going. And that feedback loop is very important to ensure effective listening and effective communication. So that was it for this video lesson related to stakeholders and communication. In the next video, in the next lesson, I will talk about the stakeholders domain, typically interactions with other performance domains. So that's it for this lesson. I'm looking forward to see you in our next video. Thank you and bye-bye.